An eclectic year for movie lovers. We saw tabloid queens, saucy 6-year-olds, superheroes, and a number of unforgettable films. And speaking of saucy, Eli Glasner is here with the roundup of his favorites. So, you know, this is the time of year where we ask everyone to give a countdown. And this countdown, people are always interested in your top 10 for 2017.
So I've spent a lot of time sitting in the dark. These are the images that persist, that even when I open my eyes, I still see little slices of the cinema. Let me begin with one of my favorite genres, spandex, superheroes. There were a lot of them this year, as always, but Spider-Man Homecoming with Tom Holland. Yes, they rebooted him. It was such fun. It was like a John Hughes movie met the Marvel Universe, and one of my favorite moments of the year, there's a moment in the movie where the door opens. Michael Keaton is there, and I was in the theater in Toronto, and the theater made a sound like, and like laughter and shouting and cheering. We were so happy for what that movie did to us. There you go. Number 10. Number 9, Darkest Hour does something very different. Puts you inside British Parliament in the middle of the Second World War as the British government is debating actually making a deal with the Nazis because they feel like Germany has Britain by the throat. But Winston Churchill pushes back. And talking about pushing, Gary Oldman as Churchill, the iconic politician. I mean, he gets beneath the icon, and you see another side. That is number 9. The other side of that movie is the movie Dunkirk, shot by Christopher Nolan, which is about those people, those soldiers. You know, you kind of put an identity on all those faces, the pilots, the men on the beach, the people in the boats sailing towards that coast, trying to bring those hundreds of soldiers home. That is Dunkirk. Number 7 is The Breadwinner, from the novel of Deborah Ellis into this animated film that is a Canadian-Irish co-production, and yet about life in Kabul under the Taliban. Parvana cuts her hair so she can pretend to be a boy and help her family. It helped me understand life in Kabul in a way I've never seen it before. That is number 7. Number 6 is 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Frances McDormand, you know she is amazing, but you haven't seen her on screen like this in quite some time. This is a movie about a mother's rage as she is essentially threatening to burn this town down to get justice for her daughter.
Yeah, I have to say that movie is just chilling. A wonderful film. That brings us now then to the top 5.
And we're going to start with Blade Runner 2049, which is the answer to the impossible question. How do you do a sequel of a movie that was so influential, Ridley Scott's original film? Well, you hire Denis Villeneuve, because Villeneuve was able to do justice to the original while building something on top of it that actually deepens those themes. Number 4 is The Shape of Water. This is from Guillermo del Toro. This is one of the most beautiful films I saw this year. It's also one of the most powerful and moving films I saw. Also perhaps a little disturbing. It is about a romance between a mute woman and something I'll call a fish man. I'm going to leave it there. It has to be seen to be enjoyed. Speaking of romance of a different kind, let's move on to number 3 and Call Me By Your Name. 2 amazing performances. Timothée Chalamet, this young rising star, and Armie Hammer. You think you know him, you think he's the Lone Ranger and whatnot. You haven't seen him like this. This is a movie about the vocabulary of attraction, of 2 people who know exactly what the other is feeling, don't want to let it be said, but then it's spoken out loud. Beautiful stuff happens. Number 2, I, Tonya. You think you know Tonya Harding. You have no idea. Wait until you see what Margot Robbie shows us with this woman who was looked at as white trash in the figure skating world, and yet, well, she fought back and then some, but this will actually change your opinion of that famous story. That is I, Tonya. And finally, favorite film of the year.
Number 1.
I'm going to take you to a rundown motel in Orlando, Florida. There's 2 kids sitting there, Mooney and Scooty, and they're licking ice cream. And Willem Dafoe is the manager of this hotel, and he is watching them because he does not want that ice cream to drip. But then,
sure do. $38 a night.
Okay, I warned you. One drip and you're out.
Oh, come on!
Out now.
It's gonna melt outside.
It's melting inside, too.
But, Bobby...
Out. Thank you very much.
You're not welcome!
You're not welcome.
That's
I love
it,
that.
right? The new
love
Shirley
that.
Temple, she is one of the discoveries of the year. That is Brooklyn Prince, and she plays this little girl, 6 years old, living with her mother, and they are living week to week. They can barely find the money, the scratch to pay their weekly rent. This is a movie, on the one hand, about the wonderment and sometimes even innocence of childhood, how this little kid, Mooney, finds ways to entertain herself and this gang of rascals that live at the motel. But then there's the other side, the grit, the seamy side of America right now, those that are left behind as the economy seems to go up and up. It is a miraculous movie, my favorite film of the year. It is called The Florida Project.
I love it, Eli. Thank you for that, and happy holidays.
Thank you.